The Witch Who Fell in Love. On the Lower East Side of Manhattan, there was a witch who lived in a walk-up on the 3rd floor. And she, what? Wait. Manhattan? That does not appear out of a fairy tale. We are certain that she did not reside in a wooded shack or cave. No? Definitely the New York apartment? Okay, assuming you agree. Let's start again. Apparently, there was a witch who lived on the Lower East Side of Manhattan in a walk-up on the 3rd floor. Additionally, she spent her entire time making tinctures and casting spells, which she then offered for sale on a secret magical online auction site, Effie. Although she was a little, I suppose you could say, moody, Angie, that was the name of the witch, was not exactly a wicked one. Although she never did, she occasionally became enraged when she observed happy, giggling individuals and felt the urge to transform them into toads or something. Even though she wasn't exactly what most people thought of as pretty, she wasn't exactly an ugly witch. Her skin wasn't exactly flawless, her chin was a little pointy, and her nose was a little big. However, she did have pretty eyes, and overall, she was very content with herself and her life, with one exception. She was lonely. You might not be surprised to learn that most witches don't have many friends. As a result, they usually have a familiar, which is different from a pet, but no one knows how exactly. Of course, the black cat is familiar to most witches, however, Angie's was different. She had inherited Dave, a red and green parrot, from an aunt a few years ago, so she just kind of went with it. Dave didn't quite fit in with her moody, dark lifestyle. However charming he may be, a parrot cannot replace a real friend or companion, the kind Angie secretly desired. She ran into someone while she was at the market buying fresh herbs for her spell casting. She was getting close to saying, "Why don't you look where you're going?" She only managed to say, "Why don't," in her harsh, raspy witch voice before realizing who she had run into and losing her mind. He was stunning. Fit and handsome, he has amazing hair and a winning smile that is hard to put into words, but you can tell when you see it. He was dressed very well, and a silver pendant and gold watch were on his wrist. The handsome man said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you all right?" "I'm fine, thanks." After giving her a winning smile, the handsome man left the store and got into a black car that looked very fancy just outside the store. "Who exactly is it?" Angie asked the shopkeeper. "Oh, you must know him. He's the son of that guy who owns that electronics company. You know, Charming Digital? That's Alvin Charming's son?" "Sure. Prince is his name." "Wait, he actually goes by the name Prince Charming?" Even though Effie was bad enough, this just looks lazy. Whatever the case may be, let's just get started. Angie's heart broke when she found out who the handsome man was. She was aware that a witch like her would never attract Prince Charming. She made an unsuccessful attempt to forget about him. Even though no one was present, she could hear singing. When the trees were bare, she could smell the blossoms. She appeared to walk on air all day. She wasn't sure why. Her Effie Seller rating dropped several points as a result of her becoming distracted and beginning to make errors in her work. It was abundantly clear that she would never be able to forget about Prince Charming. She, therefore, devised a strategy. Prince returned to the shop a few weeks later to pick up some items. He considered cooking to be a sort of pastime, and he preferred to buy his own ingredients. He reached out to pick up a green bell pepper that looked particularly appealing, but another hand reached out to grab it at the same time. Both the girl to whom the hand was attached and the hand itself were beautiful. Stunning, actually. The most stunning young woman that Prince had ever seen. she said, in a lovely, sing-song voice. Oh, did you want that pepper? I apologize. No, that's fine. You take it. No, I believe you saw it first. You ought to take it. Tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. Do you agree to let me use the pepper to prepare dinner for you tonight? In the storytelling industry, we refer to this as meet cute. As a result, Prince went home to get ready for his date with the gorgeous girl he had met at the market, not realizing that she was actually Angie the witch disguised as a witch. Angie had used one of her own spells to transform herself into beauty, because she was aware that someone as beautiful as Prince Charming would never have the same feelings for her as she did for him. That was the easy part. The hard part was smiling constantly and pretending to be happy rather than sad. But if she meant that she wouldn't have to be alone anymore, she thought, it was worth it. Even though dinner went well, it was hard for her to smile and laugh all the time. She told herself, however, that it was well worth it because Prince seemed to really enjoy it. When can we get together again? Asked Prince. Again? Well, maybe, but then she felt herself beginning to return to her previous state. The effect of the potion was fading. She ran off in a hurry after making a stupid excuse about her sick parrot. She was back to her normal self when she returned to her apartment. She and Prince went on a few more dates despite this minor setback. She was happy to be with him, but she couldn't keep up with the ruse any longer. She made it a point to always bring an extra bottle of potion with her whenever they went out, just in case she needed a boost, and she never allowed him to visit her apartment. After several months of consistent dating, Prince finally proposed to Angie. He abruptly stopped, took both of her hands in his, and asked her, Angie, will you marry me? As they were walking down the road together after the opera. Angie immediately wanted to say yes, but then something terrible happened. They were confronted by a genuine, honest-to-gosh New York-style thief who jumped out at them and demanded their cash and jewelry. Prince said, okay, take it easy, and he gestured to take his wallet out of his coat pocket. However, instead, he punched the thief in the solar plexus, causing him to squat and drop his gun. The thief pushed Angie out of the way and fled angrily. They were unharmed and safe, but something was wrong. Angie dropped her handbag when the thief shoved her, and when she looked inside, it was exactly as she had feared. Her potion was in a glass vial that had broken. The liquid went everywhere. And it was going to run out in a few seconds. Are you all right? Angie? What's wrong, Angie? The game was over. Angie returned to her former self in front of Prince's eyes. She explained everything and expressed her sincere apologies with tears in her pretty eyes, the only part of her that remained unchanged by the potion. Prince, however, appeared to be in no way enraged, which surprised her greatly. Just now, he said, that's fantastic. What? An extremely perplexed Angie asked, you're happy? Yes. I'm relieved that I won't have to wear this anymore. He said this and threw away the pendant he had been wearing ever since Angie first met him. And Prince changed in front of Angie's eyes. His nose was crooked, his hair was thinning, and he was shorter and heavier. Again, not exactly ugly, but not nearly as handsome as before. He still had a winning smile, which is funny. He explained, I bought that thing off of Effie years ago so that girls would like me. However, I am not like that. I don't really like people who are sweet and happy. To tell you the truth, I'm usually kind of, I guess you could call it, moody. Although we took a different path than I anticipated, we reached a happy conclusion. Prince and Angie fell in love more than ever before once they agreed to stop pretending and be themselves. They tied the knot and began working together. Prince's natural ability to cook made him the perfect assistant for the witch, and they soon had their own web-based magic service. They lived happily ever after, believe it or not, and I don't blame you if you don't.